she said something, this is how the world is. So never underestimate the power of the Latina Network. Now there's a room full of people, and they used to say 7 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
So as we start looking for a keynote speaker, I went to my network, and somebody says, you just need to call Nancy. And I said, oh yeah, why not call Nancy? So Nancy calls me back and she goes, I have this wonderful young lady you need to meet, and her name is Vannessa. And let's see if Vannessa will do it. So then we get on our phone call and we realize that Vannessa is my neighbor. We used to live on a U-shaped street. I lived on this side, and if you move the houses between us, her house was on the other side of the street. She went to school with my children. Her brothers know my daughter, and they graduated from high school together. And it took someone in California to reconnect us, 20 years later?
Yeah, 20 years.
So here we are, people, the power of the Latina Network, right?
Yeah, another full circle moment.
Another full circle moment, right? But the reason I say that is because, you said something about following your dreams, and our theme today is stand up and lead. And what I heard in your message is that you chose yourself, and that was so powerful to me. And I would love for you to share a little bit more, why was it so important to choose you over what someone else wanted for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think as women, even especially Latina women, or just women in general, we're taught over and over, like, you just gotta get married and, have kids and you'll be fine, and just find a husband that's gonna take care of you. And in previous generations, it was very much about women giving up their dreams and making that sacrifice for their husbands and to have a family. I think more nowadays, both couples are more supportive and encouraging, but every once in a while you will find someone who's like, no, you're gonna give up yourself and your own dreams for me. And I just kind of felt that at that moment, if I gave myself up, like my dreams, and I was gonna die, my soul was gonna die. And I was like, there's no way I can continue to live like this. And as much as I wanted it to work out, it just wasn't something that he was willing to do. So I think we have to, and I realized that was his dream. That's his dream, and that's respectable. And I have my dream, and I should respect that too. But more than anything, it was just a calling I couldn't say no to. It felt bigger than myself.
I love that. And what's so important is that there may be somebody in the audience who may be in that same scenario where they're living somebody else's dream. And the sad thing is it's not sustainable, because you can get through it for a while. I myself went through something similar where somebody wanted something else for me, and I chose me as well. But it's never sustainable, because when you give up on you, so we have a saying at Casa Mayo. So for all of you if you like to use it, you're welcome to use it. And it is, if La Reina's not happy, nobody's happy.
Amen.
It's all right. And my husband is here, you can ask him, and my children, it's something I say, but I appreciate that. So let's jump into some of the questions, because Vannessa and I had a chance to talk. But one of the things that at Power on Heels we talk about is being disruptive. And what we mean about being disruptive is helping people see a different way of doing things, right? And so when we hear the word disruptive, you think it's somebody who is just crazy and loud and is a problem, right? Well, Latinas, we're disruptive and everywhere we go. So let's talk a little bit about why you had to stand up and lead and be disruptive, not only in your personal life, but also in your career.
Yeah, this is my 8th year actually working with Latina Equal Pay Day. And it came on because when I was working for Hulu, as you all know, we're currently on a strike because of the current financial conditions due to the streaming services not paying actors equally. So the show that I was on was one of the pioneers of one of these streaming services. And I immediately realized how much, because somebody told me how successful our show was. We were getting Emmy nominations, all kinds of awards, and yet we weren't getting the compensation that we truly deserved. And so as a lead actor, I, talked to some of my colleagues and we all decided to stand up. But they didn't want to. And so then when we started asking, I had to get a lawyer to defend myself. And when I asked my lawyer to kind of investigate what else everybody was getting paid in other networks, she also found out that not only was we were getting underpaid, but me, myself, as a female, I was getting paid 3 times less than some of my male colleagues. And they weren't doing half the work I was. I was number 1 on the call sheet. So I put my defenses up, I lawyered up, and I have never gone out without a lawyer again. Yeah, get a lawyer. So yeah, I mean, I definitely had to stand up, and I knew it was difficult, and I got shot down, I got gaslit, I got threatened to get kicked off the show. But, now with this strike happening, and I see how many actors have suffered, how many people have not been able to have a good living situation because of those conditions, it was very healing, because it made me realize that I wasn't standing up just for myself. I was trying to stand up against the beast, of what was happening. And then I think sometimes that happens, right? We're standing up for something and it feels like we're the only ones, or we get gaslit to think like, oh, you're just being ungrateful, right? And we have to just be quiet and be grateful. And as much as I wanted to, there was also this other feeling that was like, no, speak up, use your voice. And so Monica Ramirez, the main activist for Latina Equal Pay Day, she's done so much. Yes, everybody knows Monica. She discovered, or not, we connected, we met. She was like, I know about your story. She's like, I want to invite you to Washington, D.C. every single year and come and speak on Latina Equal Pay Day. And so that experience kind of propelled me to stand up and, keep being an advocate for Latinas and our equal pay.
And it's so important because I know we're talking about it today, but we need to keep talking about that. Yeah. We know our worth. We know we show up. Listen, I see women who are in organizations, train all the people who come in, who they can turn to be their bosses, right? And you've been there 20 some odd years, and the person who came 7 months ago is now your boss, and you train them, right? Does that resonate with people? Right?
Yeah.
But the thing about it is that you said something really important. You stood up for yourself, and that's hard because it's kind of like a cultural clash for us, because we're always told, calladita, te ves más bonita, right?
Yeah. Don't stir up the pot.
Yeah, right. Don't stir the pot. Don't bring attention to yourself. But the reality of it is that was the survival method of years past. And to be honest with you, it's been weaponized against us. Our silence has been weaponized against us because they know you're not going to say anything. So I just admire your courage and Lorena, right? But why is that important? Is because you gain so much, and then you gain so much for others to follow. So thank you for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, let's talk about it. I don't know if you noticed, we've got some students here from Tejano Center, from Raul Seguirre School of Success. We also have some university students, and they're in the back. So, you've traveled a little bit through life. What would you tell the 17-year-old Vannessa? What do you know now that you would go back and say to that?
Oh my God, I want to cry.
It's okay, Mama. Estamos en familia, right? We're in family. Estamos bien. So it's okay.
I think it's the same message, that I had in my speech of believe in your dreams. I think for the longest time, I had this vision of being an actor, but I didn't think it was real. I just thought I was kind of delusional. I was like, it's just me and my narcissistic ways, or the society is getting to me. But I was like, no, once I got into my first play, and I felt my soul come alive, I was like, wait, no, this is not just some fantasy. I'm not delusional. Again, that's self-gaslighting, right? Trying to get rid of that. Believe in your dreams and just know that everything's going to be okay. Everything that happens to you, the way your life unfolds, it's all happening as part of your plan. And you just never know when you're going to have to tell this story that you're experiencing now to someone else. And you taking that next step and believing in your dreams. Who else is looking up to you, and who else in your family or your circle you're gonna inspire?
I know if you come to one of our Power Heal events, we always say that you have to do this because you don't know who's watching.
Yeah.
You know, it can be your little sister, it could be a friend, it can be a neighbor, it can be somebody you don't even know, and they admire you because they aspire to be like you, because they think that there's some superpower to be courageous, right? But thank you for stepping into your power. But I think that, and again, I'm just not speaking for the room, because I think we can all resonate from that message when we've given up our power, right? But I love the fact that you felt something special when you were acting and you realized that's what you wanted to do and you wanted more of it. So all of you in the audience, is there something that makes you feel good and you want more of it? Okay?
Do it.
Do it, okay? Now, I just want to put a disclaimer. Don't go home and say, honey, I'm done. Deuces, it's been real. Okay?
Unless it's abusive.
Yeah,
I'm out of here, I got you.
And and then you're going to have to tell people, oh my God, we were at a Power and Heels event. But it's so important to do that. Now, I know they mentioned in your introduction about your special project. So I would love to hear more about this special project that's coming up that people have a chance to see in 2024. But how was it working with legendary James Edward Olmos? And most importantly, the amazing cast. So you got to tell them all about it, because people in this room are going to go, what? So it's an amazing project. Y'all ready?
Oh, I actually have a funny story about Edward James Olmos that I think everyone kind of knows him as Selena's dad from the movie, right?
Mr. Musicaka.
A lot of, yeah, Musicaka, exactly. So whenever I got to LA, they had a screening at Warner Brothers for Selena. And me being Tejana, Selena was like, I was the biggest fan. And so Edward James Olmos going to be on the panel and some of the actors, and I wanted to go see them and, just have the whole experience. And then they screened the movie, and then they had the Q&A, and afterwards they had some people ask questions. And I got up and I was like, hi, and then like, what do you have to say? And I was like, hi, Mr. Edward James Olmos, my name is Vannessa. I just got here from Texas. What advice do you have for an aspiring Tejana actress, kind of like Selena, trying to associate myself with her. He just kind of looked at me and he said, you know what, just get ready, get prepared, because when it comes, it's gonna hit you like a wave and it's not gonna stop. So in the meantime, just do everything you can to prepare and get ready. And I was like, okay, thank you so much. So then, last year when they called me and they offered me the part. Like, I didn't have to audition. I actually had worked with the director before, and he said, we have this amazing, it's going to be the first Tejano romantic comedy, Edward James Olmos. The team, some of the producers from Selena are behind it, and we want you to be the lead. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, yes, please, 1,000 times yes. And so...
but I won't do it for free.
I won't do it for free, absolutely not. Let me show the negotiators are there. So it was just kind of a very full circle moment, right? Of just like, you just never know who you're gonna meet, how things are gonna come back to you, how things just click. And then the writer of that film was Nancy, the one that connected us. So again, we're here because of that too. And so Luis Fonsi, the singer of Despacito song, he's the main actor opposite me. And then Jackie Cruz from Orange is the New Black is also one of the leads. And Vivian Lamoli, she was also from my TV show, East Los High. And it was just a very cool experience because all the characters are all Latinos, but of different backgrounds, of different ethnicities, but they're all still representing Tejanos. And I love that because I'm like, yes, this is how I grew up. You know, I have friends that are Salvadorian, Puerto Rican, and they put on their Tejano boots and their hats, and you know, they're blended in the culture as well. And we don't get to see that a lot. We only typically get to see Mexican Americans as Tejanos, which is not an equal representation of us. And so I love that they had all the different ethnicities there, and we all got to make this movie. So yes, next year the answer to my prayer will come out, and hopefully y'all like it.
Well, I want to just give you a couple of check marks. One, all Latino cast.
Yes.
Written by Latinos.
Yes.
Okay. Acted by Latinos. Filmed in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a real Tejano romantic comedy. And what's the title again?
The answer to my prayer.
The answer to my prayer. Well, I have to tell you again, small circles, and we were talking about the power of network because we mentioned Nancy. You know, I think one of the things that we have to remember is we need to create a circle of trusted advisors. How important has that been for you as you continue to grow?
I mean, it's extremely important because we need our mentors. We need people who have come before us and told us like what works and what doesn't work, right? Because the way I see it, especially for American Latinos in television and all ethnicities, really, it's a revolution, right? And there's been people before me who have been fighting for us on television and our representation. And so for me, whenever I see people, you know, actors, especially older generation, I love sitting down and talking to them. Like, what was your experience? What were you going through? And then me being able to share that with other actors that are coming up and saying, hey, this is where I was, this is what I'm experiencing. This is the things to look out for, right? The Me Too movement. Not everything is like glamorous about Hollywood or really just any field. Right? It's important to be honest with ourselves about the beautiful things about our dreams, but also what to look out for and who to walk away from.
We have to walk away.
Have to walk away. Doesn't align, say, nope, we gotta go.
Change it.
Yeah.
It's not for us to change, right? I get it. I just want to get a quick time check. We have about a few more minutes. So I don't know if we have an opportunity to take, does anybody in the room just have this question, a dying question to ask Vannessa? If you have a minute for a question, one of our scholarship honorees or someone, raise your hand. We'll bring a mic over to you. Here we go.